she received a message from a dead person, so the misfortunes began. Maria's story may be one of the strangest stories that you have heard in your life, and the strange thing is that the story is real and happened in one of the cities in the United States of America. The story began when Sarah was 18 years old and she was living a normal life with her mother, father, brother Harry and her little sister Hannah, until that day came. Sarah was a big fan of jinn, ghosts and horror stories. She used to read a lot in this field and was very interested in it. One day, after Sarah woke up in the morning, this mysterious message arrived on Sarah's phone. Sarah's habit is that when she wakes up, she plays with her phone for a little while. Written on it: "Who are you?" He replied immediately, "It is not important who I am, but I will explain to you my story. I am a dead person for more than 4 years. Someone killed me for no reason. The problem for today is the police. They considered my death an accident and I want to take my right. I chose you from all people to help me." Sarah at that moment started laughing and told her friend sent the message and said to her, "Sure, this is one of the girls who wants to frighten me and make a prank on me." Suddenly she reads the letter to her friend, and she received another message from the same number that says, "Never read my messages to anyone." Here Sarah was a little scared and without any preliminaries, she blocked his number. The next day, in the morning, Sarah went down and ate breakfast with her family, and here I told them the strange message I had received. Here her father told her not to be afraid, just people trying to mess with you and only scared you. Sarah was not afraid at all and continued her day as usual and went to her studies and met her friend, and while Sarah was returning home with her, she received a message from the same number that said, "Sarah, why are you working on a ban because this thing will not prevent me from texting you?" Maria at this time wondered how he could text me from the same number and I blocked him yesterday. Sarah replied to him, "Who are you and if you want me?" He replied to her, "I ask you for the second time, do you agree, do I take my revenge?" Sarah was still convinced that it was a prank from one of her friends, so she answered him, "If you were one of my friends and you were making a prank on me, stop because this joke I don't like." An abandoned building, no one lived in it for a long time, after he sent her to look at the building opposite you. The normal thing that Sarah did when she told her friend and said to her, "Look at the building, look at that person who is pointing at me." Her friend looked well but she did not see anyone there. At the same moment a message arrived to Sarah in which Sarah wrote, "Do not tire yourself, the person who is there will not be able to see anyone else." Here the fear entered Sarah's heart, so she tried to convince her friend of what she saw, but for no benefit. In that time Sarah decided to give up answering this person and ignore him. Days passed and messages reached Sarah but she does not answer him. At this time a strange message arrived to Sarah written, "Sarah, tomorrow will be your first warning." Sarah did not care for his words and said, "This liar and trying to scare me only." Tomorrow Sarah woke up and everything was normal. I went to school and met her friend and everything was normal. Sarah returned to her house and if her father's phone rings, her father spoke a little on the phone, so if she sees the signs of terror in his face, a difficult and critical situation. Sarah at that moment remembered that person's message and the warning and threat he gave her. They went quickly to the hospital and found Harry improved his condition and became stable. Here Sarah told her father about the subject of the threat that reached her on her phone, and here her father decided to go to the nearest police headquarters to report this threat. Sarah at that moment remembered the person's letter, the alarm and the threat he gave her. They quickly went to the hospital and found Harry in a stable condition. Here Sarah told her father about the threat he received on the phone. This is where her father decided to go to the nearest police headquarters to report the threat, and on her way to the police, Sarah got a message from that number that said, Sarah, I advise you not to go to the police station. Your brother Harry's accident was a simple warning, and if you disobey my orders for the second time, you will lose your brother Harry forever." Here Sarah fainted more and told her father about the message she had received. They went to the police and Sarah gave them the number to send her the messages, but the shocking thing is that the policeman told her that the number was 4 years ago. Here fear and terror began to kill Sarah. The policeman told her to give him her phone to read the messages. And here is the strangest thing: the policeman did not find any message received from that number. Sarah panicked and began to say that the messages were on the phone a little while ago. What happened? Did you delete? The policeman at this moment began to doubt Sarah's words and thought she was just crazy and mentally ill, delusional things, and could not complete the communication because there is no evidence. They left the police headquarters. Sarah and her father returned shocked, afraid of what had happened. She could not believe how the messages had disappeared from her phone. They went back to the hospital with a message to Sarah's phone saying, "I told you not to go to the police, and I told you you would lose Harry if you did this and take responsibility for your actions." Sarah quickly entered her brother Harry's hospital room and found his heart stopped, called the doctor, quickly tried to revive his heart but to no avail. Told her that her brother Harry had died. Sarah went crazy and began to take herself responsible for what happened. And the strangest thing is that the doctor told them that Harry's accident is one of the strangest he saw in his life, and even that witnesses to his accident did not see the car that hit him. The fear increased more and more in Sarah. Hated everything, and what made her hate more is that no one believed her. The next day, she received another letter saying, "I'm still waiting for you to take my revenge, otherwise the second warning will be the loss of someone else in your family." Here Sarah found no other solution but to approve his request. She went to this wanted person, but she couldn't kill him. He was a good and ordinary person, and she didn't find anything to indicate that he was a killer. She went home, and before she slept she got a message that said, "Sarah, I'm disappointed in you. You take responsibility for what's going to happen tomorrow." Sarah didn't find what she was doing. The next day she went to school tired and exhausted from what happened to her. When she returned home, she found her father and mother afraid that her little sister Hannah didn't come home from school. One day you say, "I have to kill him," that's the solution. A lot of people say that what happened to her is real, and some say that it's just hallucinations and that she was a psychopath from the beginning.